Hi everyone, I'm Sam Alcaine, Assistant Professor in the Department of Food Science. We're back this week with a quick coronavirus booster to give you an updated shot of COVID-19 now. We are heading into the holiday season where we should be spreading cheer and not COVID. Unfortunately, there is a new variant, Omicron, that has just been added to the naughty list. Now, it's still early on, but it does appear that Omicron is pretty widespread across the globe and the US. Now, early data indicates this variant is definitely more transmissible and has the ability to cause breakthrough infections. Now, this doesn't mean that the vaccines aren't effective. They still provide a much higher level of protection than no vaccine or previous infection. And if you get the booster, the early data is showing that that helps a lot. Now, on severity of disease, it's still too early to make a definitive call on whether Omicron results in less severe illness than our previous variants, but it's better to be cautious. Now, what does this mean for you as a business? Well, there's likely going to be a lot of travel this holiday season. And because Omicron has showed improved ability to even cause breakthrough infections, particularly in people where it's been a while since their last dose, you're likely going to have positive employees and some level of absence in the new year. Now, on top of that, as I mentioned, Omicron seems to spread more easily, and particularly in situations where there's little masking or distancing. So if you don't have your mitigation practices in place and your employees come back from the holiday season and one of them is positive but maybe asymptomatic, you could have large spreading events within your facility. Here at Cornell, we had over 300 cases in a day due to individuals not following masking and distancing practices. Now, if an individual is positive, they still have to quarantine. So if a business isn't careful, you could find yourself with a lot of employees having to quarantine unexpectedly. And with the workforce supply issues that we're already facing, this could be a huge problem for the start of the year. So what can you be doing as a food business to deal with this? Well, the great news is we already know what we should be doing. Remember that Swiss cheese model and that mitigation practices work in synergy, not stand alone. So think through everything that you've put in place. Remember, push vaccinations and boosters. We know that they're effective at reducing the risk of both being infected, of spreading COVID-19, and the severity of illness. Don't forget those basic mitigation practices that we've always had in place around masking and distancing. Maybe take a little time to ask your employees whether or not they were traveling or had visitors during the holiday season, and consider the use of perhaps rapid testing to get an idea as they come back to work whether or not they are positive for COVID or not. So again, don't forget those COVID-19 control strategies that we have been putting in place and practicing effectively the last nearly 2 years. They're right here. Again, vaccination, social distancing, mask wearing, screening for symptoms, hand washing, avoiding touching your face, cleaning surfaces, and then understanding what's going on in the community. With Omicron, if you're seeing large spikes within your community like we're beginning to see, that will be something for you to pay attention to and consider then upping some of your practices or implementing other screening procedures. I'd like to thank USDA for their support of these office hours and boosters. Couldn't have done it without them. And I'd like to thank you, our viewers, who have been coming to our office hours and listening to our boosters. Have a great holiday season, and I look forward to seeing you again in 2022. Take care.